All right. Welcome to episode 3 of the first time I actually know what this podcast is called. It's LaChance Encounters. I hadn't named it yet when we filmed the first couple and recorded the first couple, but now I do. And by April, I plan on having one of these out every week on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you can look at it. If you don't hear it somewhere, let me know and I'll try to get it on there. I plan on not stopping till I have 1,000 episodes. Any less than 1,000, I will be a disgrace and I'll move to Greenland once we annex it. That's only a joke. Don't try to guess my politics. I am here today with founder and CEO of Dallas & James Skincare Company, Anna Walker, local New Hampshire gal doing big things. Selling skincare products. You find them on Amazon. Where else can you find them?
Really just Amazon and then our website, dallasandjamesskincare.com.
Awesome. So I'm thrilled to be here with you today. We've known each other about 5 years now, right? 5 or 6?
Least.
Yeah. So her husband, Corey, we linked up on Instagram years ago. And I've been pushing this out to a lot of people lately is be active on social media. If you have a business, just get on there, do whatever, post whatever. Because literally, I just commented randomly, like it was a hashtag he had posted in, and it was something about being a dad, and I just commented back, and we connected then. And I've done what, eight real estate sales with you guys now. So don't hesitate to get on there and start talking to people. If you have a business or anything you're trying to connect with other people with, definitely. I've been pushing that a lot, but I want to find out your story about how you got into what you do. And we'll go through all the iterations of it. But first of all, maybe just give people a bird's eye view of what you sell, because I don't know anything about skincare. My skincare regimen is soap. So,
wow.
And cheap body wash, actually.
Well,
so yeah, tell me what exactly Dallas & James is, what you sell, and just a bird's eye view of what the company is.
Sure. So Dallas & James, we have a skincare line. It's called Watermelon Dream. It's based with watermelon and cloudberry, 2 superfruits, super high in antioxidants and vitamins. Our goal is to be clean, vegan, cruelty-free, give people really good quality, natural skincare products that are good for your skin, that have really nice packaging, and that don't irritate. That's the thing that I found is too many products are beautiful. They make big promises, but they're very irritating. So we tried to make something safe for all skin types, even sensitive skin.
Excellent. Yeah. I get eczema. So I am afraid to put anything on my skin. That's why I never do. And I don't really care what I look like either. The skin gets wrinkly. I don't really care. But so how do the products get manufactured? And designed? What's your involvement at each stage in that process?
Yeah. So for manufacturing, we hired a professional manufacturer. I used to make my own products years ago, but at this point, we want the scientists to do it and make it right.
Yeah, makes
sense.
We
have them professionally manufactured and tested and everything. The design, we started with graphic designers, but now that I have exactly what I want, I'm so picky. I like to take the designs and tweak them myself, because designers get very annoyed with me because I'm so picky. I want to move just the tiniest space, the tiniest color. So I'm pretty involved in every stage of it. Even the ingredients, when they send me a sample, I'm scouring every ingredient. Can we change that? For me, the details are huge to make it something that's above and beyond.
Yeah, that's I could really understand that. As we were just talking before we started recording about how I'm outsourcing the editing of this podcast and stuff. Yeah. It's it comes back and you're like, that's not exactly what I wanted. But and Arishi, I think that's how I pronounce your name. My editor is from Fiverr. If you're when you listen to this one, nothing wrong with what you're doing, but you do get controlling, and you're like, I wouldn't have done it exactly that way. But you have to, when it's I can't do it. And I can't, that's how I have to do it. So I do have to just go, okay, I'll accept how he did it. It's fine, bro. Thank you for your work.
Good work.
Don't want it to sound like I'm criticizing, but I understand that fully. I did this slide that's next to us with our headshots on here, and I hate it because I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's great.
Good. I'm glad you like it. So how do you find your passion for these types of products? I mean, I know because I know you are somebody that takes care of your look and your skin. Mm-hmm. But was there something deeper that kind of drew you into that?
Oh yeah, definitely. My teenage years and even through adulthood, I had pretty severe acne. To the point that it really affects you emotionally, where you change change the choices you make, you change how you see yourself, how you perceive others to see you, even your ambitions, you start to scale back. It really just, you feel like that's how you're facing the world with acne. So for me, it became like such a passion because I hated feeling like I couldn't fully be myself because I was so self-conscious. So learning everything, it really was for myself. And eventually when I found success with that, I really wanted to bring something to the world that could make a positive difference for others who felt the same way I felt years ago. And now my skin's not perfect, but I'm happy that it's healthy and I feel like I've come a long way.
Well, nothing's perfect. I think we get tricked by social media, and
Yes.
they said even when we were kids, it was the magazines and the movie stars, and
Yes.
it's funny when HD TV like came out. You started to notice like,
Yeah.
oh, these people aren't as good looking as we thought, you know? So yeah, nobody's perfect. And we want to make sure nobody feels like they have to be, but
Exactly.
any improvement in any positive direction, it does affect your self-esteem. Last time we
Right.
recorded, I had scratched the heck out of my neck. And actually it was pretty red this morning too, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be recording. I got to take care of I only trim my beard like once a week. But in the day I do it, it's always kind of red. I'm going to remember next time, do it the day before. Nick, message me and tell me the day before we record to trim. But no, but I had a broken pair of clippers that I was using, and I had scratches all over my neck, and there's camera right there zoomed in on me. I'm like, oh, that
Right.
sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I get that for sure. I get the acne. If I get one zit, I'm like, oh, I'm not going out until I pop it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very self-conscious
Yeah.
person. So you live here in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Where's the manufacturing happen?
So yeah, we manufacture overseas. We have a place in China that we work with. Picking them was a big process. We talked to people in the US, people in all different countries, and ultimately they had the capacity to make what we wanted because we had very specific natural ingredients that need to be sourced. And they've been able to make everything that we want. They've been able to customize everything exactly how we want. So far it's been great.
Yeah. Are you affected by the tariffs?
I am hoping that won't be a problem, but so far we've been okay.
Before
It's
real
something to
estate,
look
I
at.
was in the glass business, and like the first round of tariffs happened shortly after I had left that business, and then I revisited it like to get my own windshield or whatever it was. I was like, what happened to these prices? Because
Yeah.
I get the point. It was like you're trying to get the manufacturer here, but glass just didn't happen.
Right.
We'll try not to get political. I don't know why I brought that up, but.
I hear you.
So you've been pretty successful. I remember when I met Corey, he had commented, he's like, she does so much of social media, and like you didn't really have a brand or a product back then. And I remember you were really good at it. And you do have a background in acting, and
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, tried to do the Hollywood thing for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And and I was impressed with it by that. And I was like, man, I need somebody like that to just follow me around and do that. So has that been kind of the same type of just making content like that and getting out there to the world through social media, or are you doing other stuff to push it out there?
Yeah. I think social media is probably one of the biggest ways we get out in the world. We do subscription boxes as well. There's some companies, so they'll send out our products in a curated box to their customers. But social media is the biggest one because you can really create more like organic conversations with people. You can get to know your customers. You can really show them the products with video. You can have people reviewing them and describe it, the texture. You can really create a more engaging experience than if they're just looking at your website. So I do a lot of it. It costs you nothing to show your face and to show the product. So I just keep doing it, and it seems like a good way to really like show what your brand's about.
So are you trying to? You're obviously you want to scale, get as big as you can. What's the challenge in scaling a business like that?
There's a couple challenges. One is there's always need for more money because big orders, you need a lot of funds to get that started before you get paid. So that's always a challenge being a smaller, newer business is how do we get the funds for a large order, which is obviously a good thing to get an order, but the funds are always something to be thinking about. And even with banks, like if I go to a bank for a loan, I'm new, I'm not super established in their minds. So there's always those challenges. And then also it's such a busy, saturated market with so many beauty products. So going to a big box retailer, for example, with my brand, I think it's the best. I think they should order it. But to them, there's so many choices. It's hard to get noticed.
Right.
So just kind of plugging away and hoping enough people are interested that the big box starts to look and be like, okay, we'll give them a chance. So
Yeah, the amount of products is crazy. Like, my wife Erin, and she has like we have a loft in our bedroom, and she's got that's like, I call it her makeup room.
Oh, awesome.
And she's got this desk that is just, I mean, you can't see the desk. There's so many products on there. I'm like, this all does something? Like, she's like, yeah, use 90% of it. It's probably something I can get rid of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I go in the shower, and it's like, there's, 50 hair care products. One day I was standing in the shower, and I'm like, and I know these things are more expensive than but I was just like 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm like, there's got to be $1,000 worth of stuff in the shower.
Yes.
It's like, you guys work so hard I feel very lucky to be born a man that doesn't care.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's very freeing.
Yeah. So you must love when you see people posting about your products. Like, that's a good feeling, right? Like, I know from doing real estate, like when I've helped you guys, and I see you guys enjoying your house, enjoying the backyard. Like, that's a great feeling. You experience that. Like, it must be. It's weird because with me, it's like it takes so long. Other businesses, it's like kind of some instant gratification. With a lot of, like, restaurants is like the number one I think of. It's like they come in, they love it, they leave. Like, yours is maybe a little slower. That must be really exciting for you to see that and see people sharing it.
Oh yeah, like, to me that's the most satisfying. Like, if somebody takes the product, uses the product, and then they actually make a post, they actually spend the time to write something and say, like, nothing else has worked. Here's my age, here's my skin type, and this is finally something that is actually giving me the changes I want or the results I want. That's like, okay, I did it.
That's
like,
so cool, yeah.
Yeah, like, this actually is something that people love.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people think when people start businesses, those of us that are entrepreneurial and always like chasing things, is like, we're just chasing the money. But it really is a feeling. Like, and I think you find out, I mean, you've been there. I mean, Corey was really successful, or is still successful, has been for a long time. And it's like, at a certain point, you're like, it doesn't really, I'm not getting any happier by doing, better financially. But that motivation and seeing people, be happy with whatever it is you're doing. Like, I don't know how people do certain jobs, like, I don't know, corrections officer, or like, where like you're not like, okay, well, we're keeping murderers away from everybody. But like, other than that, you're not getting that fulfillment of bringing people joy, all the time. Like, I don't know why that's the first one I went to, but
it's a hard
there's
job.
a lot of, people that, but you talk to people and they all kind of find that. It's like, I think of like an ambulance worker, just seeing tragedy day in, day out. And some people do have, end up with PTSD and have a hard time with it. But some people you talk to and they're like, oh yeah, no, I just feel great being there in that terrible time for somebody and being able to give them comfort or, save their life or whatever. To me, I just be stressed and sad all the time seeing that.
Rough. But like the satisfaction, like you created something, you gave it to somebody and somebody actually got like a good result from it. It's like,
absolutely.
You feel like you're doing something, anyone can make $1, right? But to actually like make a difference, something that you connect with and you're connecting with them, it's good. That's what keeps you going. Right. You could get a job anywhere, but the satisfaction is worth it.
Yeah. A lot of the real estate training is always just like maximizing, profit and like, I can't do any of it. Like any of that stuff where it's just about how do you make your time more efficient to make more money, like doesn't register with me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I have to do a little bit of it because I have to support my family. But for the most part, I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, how can I help somebody today? And the money comes.
Right.
It's like
purpose.
Yeah, it's like the money will come. Like, I don't know how many times people have come to me and be like, I don't want to waste your time. I'm like, waste my time. Let's go.
Yeah. Do it.
Like the more there's a real estate agent out of Alabama who's got a pretty big following on social media. He always says it's Ricky Caruth. Shout out Ricky. But he always says the more people waste my time, the more money I make. Which is it's a weird. I think real estate might be one of the few industries that can actually say that. Yeah. If you're just answering DMs all day of people that aren't buying your products, you're probably not getting anywhere. Yeah. But like I'm answering DMs all day of people, with real estate questions and 4 years down the road, now they're like, okay, I'm ready to buy. You've been nice to me this whole time, Right. And I guess that can happen probably with any business.
Right.
Actually, I didn't bring this up to you that I was going to talk about it, so I hope it's okay. But I didn't think of it until we started talking, but went out to Hollywood and tried to pursue acting. I think you got some jobs, right? Like you were, background actress and some things.
I did some things.
And stuff like that. I never. Oh, you did some commercial. Okay, I never dug deep into that with you.
Yeah.
What is that like? first, like, are you from New Hampshire originally? I don't
Yes,
think I ever.
born and raised.
Okay.
Yep.
So if, what's it like uprooting your life in New Hampshire, moving out to a different city and getting into like probably one of the hardest things to actually break into.
Right.
What was that experience like? Like, and what steps did you take to do that? I think a lot of people, like me and Nick do stand-up comedy, and it's probably some people that might listen to this from that world would probably be interested in hearing somebody who's gone through that.
Yeah, definitely. It was something that was always a dream of mine since I was a kid. I love New Hampshire, but I always had that like California dream in my mind. So when we went, it was great. I mean, the first thing we focused on was steady jobs. Acting probably won't pay the bills right away for 99.9% of people, but it was great. I started with acting classes. I had a great acting coach. He's actually Will Smith's acting coach, and started learning the skill and the craft.
Did he teach you how to slap anybody during an award show? Did you learn that?
They're very serious. No, that's just improv.
Yes.
Slapping. Yeah.
Will is a very good improv.
He's great
actor.
with improv. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it was great. Even if you never did acting again, just the process of putting yourself out there, learning something, and then even performing in front of your class, and then going to auditions and having to like be exposed and possibly make a fool out of yourself and be willing to do that over and over again, I think is just a good life skill.
Yeah, so valuable in anything to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, because it just teaches you how to push on through the discomfort, which when you start a business, you don't realize that it's a day-to-day thing of like something's going to go wrong. Like something isn't going to go as planned. Something's not going to work the way you want it to. Somebody's not going to do the things you wanted them to do,
True.
Erin's building out her new studio right now.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, she's going to be in the Queen City Center that they're redeveloping down on Canal Street. Mm-hmm. Harpoon Brewery is the big business going in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, but, I've been helping her as kind of almost like her general contractor through the build out. And it's just like every day I'm just like, there's something that I can't control.
Right.
And it's so stressful. Yeah. Like,
it is stressful.
Acting has got to be, top notch of like things, you're always working with other people for the most part. And, and like getting the jobs, you can't just go apply and get one. It's like always up in the air. What was your favorite role you did? Like what was the favorite job you got? I know you asked me for questions, and I'm just coming at you with curveballs now.
Hey, since I did acting, I can do improv.
That's
I can
true.
go with the
There
flow.
you go.
See, this helps.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot. Like the one people think is cool that I don't think is as cool is like being on background on True Detective, because I'm like in the frame with Vince Vaughn. Yeah. But that was just standing there for 16 hours in heels for me. So that
nobody
was, like,
realizes how brutal that is, right?
Like, it is.
Yeah.
It's hard work. But I did a commercial for Jack in the Box, the fast food chain, and it was like a VR shoot. So it was in like a pub. They had a new burger, and I got to be kind of like the lead, but it wasn't going to be on like national TV. It was for like a promo they were doing. But I got to hang out with the Jack in the Box guy after he invited me to lunch.
Like the CEO, owner?
Like the guy who wears the...
I know nothing about Jack in the Box.
Oh, okay. So they have a mascot, and he's you can't see who he is. He's like a guy, like with a helmet on, like a Mickey Mouse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like a mystery who he is, but he's like an older guy, and he invited me to lunch and got to pick his brain on acting.
Nice.
And it was like maybe 5-6 hours hanging out, great crew. I did a Slim Jim one once for Instagram, which I never saw, hair dryer commercial.
Does a lot of that stuff get shot and just never see the light of day?
Some of it just gets used for like the internet, like maybe a company's website, like the hair dryer guy, he wanted something for his website. Some of it...
So if you looked at my phone right now, there's probably 2,000 videos I've recorded that I never put out anywhere. So I can imagine that happening on a large scale too.
Yeah, it definitely happens where sometimes maybe they don't communicate with you and you're just Googling trying to find it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a few things. Did a beauty pageant, which I'd never done before, but I thought, well, if I want to do acting, this might be good. And I represented my heritage, Sweden. You didn't have to be from the country. It's just like where your family's from. And that actually inspired Dallas and James too, because I began researching more about like Swedish foods and things like that. Came across cloudberry, which is now one of the star ingredients of all my products. So everything kind of circles back.
Yeah, if we want to look at ingredients for things, I think we need to look at Europe most of the time, right? I mean, we just use so many harmful things in this country.
Yes.
And it's starting to change.
Yeah.
Red dye number 3 is gone.
Don't get me started.
And I don't know if I can back that because I don't think I can eat a gray tomato. That was one of my stand-up bits. Like, look, Nick, I finally got a laugh out of it. It did not work. It did not work in real life. Or this is real life. Didn't work on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really do clean comedy. Like my comedy is not fit for public. But I was like, I'm gonna try a clean joke, and I came up with that one, and like I just looked around and nothing, and I was like, let me try it right now.
Then you gotta mention how the dogs already think it's a gray tomato because they can't see color.
Oh, that's good. I'm adding it. Trying it Thursday. Trying it Thursday. Laugh Addict, Strange Brew. This won't be out until after that, but it's every week. Laugh Addict, Strange Brew.
Sweet.
I've been considering the acting classes too, the improv specifically, because this is improv. Like there's like if you asked me for questions ahead of time, and I was kind of saying I don't like to do that because if you do it, it sounds formulaic, it sounds forced. You try to memorize answers, and then but you do still trip up by not having a script too. There's a little both. Rishi, shout out, does a good job of editing out the stupid things. So that's good too. What made you stop? Why did you decide to come back to New Hampshire?
Yeah. So I did it for a couple years. I got in 2 car accidents out there. The first one I got rear-ended. Wasn't the end of the world, just had some headaches.
The driving is so bad
in LA. It's so bad. It's the worst. When you hit a red light, there's a rule that 3 cars can go through. 3 cars can go through a red light. And especially if it's a turning left. It's an unspoken rule, it's not a law. So people are always running red lights and it's expected, but there's so many car accidents.
So stop doing that.
It's so dangerous. And then people don't pay attention. So anyways, the second car accident, I'm just going through a green light, normal, like a nice person paying attention. Someone came and slammed into me, just ran through their red light at an intersection. And the car was totaled, airbags, broke my arm, all this stuff. It was nuts. And in the ambulance, because my car called the ambulance for me, I wasn't sure. I mean, my arm was broken, but I wasn't sure if everything else was okay. I was riding and I was like, man, I could have died today. And if I did, my only regret would be I didn't get to become a mother yet. So then instead of waiting, I was like, let's start thinking about having a family. Got pregnant the next year. When Owen was born, we were like, we really want to raise our kids in New Hampshire. No offense, LA, but not in LA.
No, never.
Yeah, it wasn't really the dream.
Yeah.
But so we moved back. And
I feel like an LA kid is going to grows up wacky.
It's different. It's different.
Like you're going to come out different. Like you can be okay. You can be okay, but it's not probably the ideal that we all think of how to grow up.
No. I think it sounds great. You think like surfboards and beach and all that, but it's a lot of traffic.
I would go down to San Diego. That would be I've been trying to convince Aaron forever to live in San Diego. I love it there. La Jolla is so beautiful.
The weather's great.
So you decided to come back to start a family, and noble cause, and you have a great family. It's awesome. You guys have a lot of fun. That's good. Glad to see you did that because you've bought a lot of real estate and sold a lot of real estate with me.
Well, we never could have bought a home in LA.
Yeah,
it was so expensive.
Yeah, buddy, I think he said it was like $700,000. Like his girlfriend just bought like a small ranch, like a 2-bedroom, I think it was
in LA for $700,000.
Yeah, like way outside of.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you can't even get an apartment.
Yeah, like in the valley, like way out
there.
Yeah. So it's like just like the bare minimum you could possibly buy was like $700K.
Yeah,
and it might be even more. I don't remember. I'm
probably
just making things up. I find I make things up a lot because I'm trying to fill time talking, but it happens.
We'll just roll with it.
What did before I was starting to ask you something else. Oh, advice on, starting actually give me advice first. We'll start with this of somebody who wants to go that route that, try to find fame, in LA. Do you have insight to that? I
have some.
Do you have like mistakes that you made, things you wish you did different, stuff like that?
Yeah. My advice for someone going out to find fame or do Hollywood and any of that, I would say don't try and find fame because fame comes at a cost. I've definitely met famous people plenty out there, and being famous doesn't make anybody happy. If anything, it can be a burden to not even be able to take your kid out for a walk or something, you know? So I think if you have a passion for something, no matter what, whether you make money, whether you succeed, whether you fail, it'll be worth it to you if you really love acting and you love the industry. But also, don't be afraid to pivot and stay open, because sometimes people go out there for acting and you might find a new passion. You meet all kinds of people. And I mean, for me, that led to wanting to be an entrepreneur and finding a different path and wanting to become a mother and leaving that behind. But I think if you have a dream, go for it. And worst that happens, you learn from it and you go to the next thing. Why not?
There's the clip right there.
That's it.
That's such a good advice for everybody on everything. So what about starting a more traditional business? What mistakes have you made? What would you do differently? What worked?
Yeah.
Would somebody today going, I want to launch a product? Because I haven't done that. Erin runs a service-based business, and that's what I do too. Launching a product's a whole different world for me.
I'd say the biggest thing, I had this dream for at least 10 years. I'd make my own products. I kept notebooks where I just jot down ideas all the time for skincare businesses and just fill up notebooks. And I had so many ideas, different ways it could go, different themes, different colors, that it wasn't able to really come to reality till I had such a crystal clear vision of exactly what it would look like, exactly what I wanted to make. And that's what made it actually gain momentum. Because when you're all over the place being creative and artistic, it can be hard to be kind of just scattered and not make progress.
Yeah.
So the vision is huge. Once you have the vision, it's easy just to take the next step and then the next step. And once you have something, my advice, a mistake I've made is don't rush to try and become huge, because I started with 4 products, which is great, but I wanted to expand and add so many more before the other brands caught on and copied my ideas. So I think sometimes having too much can hurt you too, where all the products are great. I love them all, but I think now I want to focus on like, how do I just put these products out there and build these to what they can be before I go trying to expand the line into hair care, body care, everything else.
Yeah.
And people ask for it like, oh, if I love the lotion, can you make a body wash? Can you make this? And you want to meet that demand, but you also don't want to spread yourself so thin where you're not being productive.
I learned that in real estate about because I was like, I'll do anything, like rentals, commercial. It's like, and I will dabble for the right people in the right situations in things that aren't my main gig. But I realized a lot of times it's better to just say no and say,
yes,
go to the commercial agent. There's some things I can handle, I'm confident with, but I look at others and I'm like, no, that's outside of my wheelhouse. I specialize in residential 1 to 4 unit properties, and most of the time that's, I can handle some commercial here and there, but other times or rentals, I'll do a rental for somebody who, has bought with me, but I'm not random off the street, call me for a rental. I'm referring you to somebody who does rentals full time because I don't know what it's going to be like and if we can even work together in that capacity. So I had to learn that too. And also the like so many ideas, like you go to real estate conferences and I've been to these 3-day ones where there's 20 presenters about different marketing things. And it's like the good ones will have like a main host that'll come on like at the end of the day and at the end of the whole thing and say, hey guys, just 1 or 2 things. Take 1 or 2 things and bring them home with you. Do not try to do everything you learned this weekend. If there's other things that you want, or it's usually during the week, but it's like if there's anything else you want to do besides the 1 or 2 things, tuck it away in some notes far away from you. Don't think about it. I use a doing done board. This has been my I don't know. I'm in the middle. I was diagnosed with ADHD a long time ago, but I figured out that it was kind of willy-nilly with the psychiatrist I was working with, and I'm being reevaluated now, and I'm not taking anything for it. But and I'm not sure if I really have it or not. But I do definitely have some of those traits. And so what I started reading like ADHD books and stuff online about how people cope with it. And like one of the things is like just not having like you got to have everything visual, but you can't have it like on your plate, I guess, is the, so this doing done board, it's 3 columns. All the things I want to do goes on sticky notes in the do column. And then when I'm ready to move into doing it, it goes in the doing. And then the done's like a nice little dopamine hit of like, hey, done, but what I'll realize some days is like, okay, too many things in the do. Let's move them, or in the doing. Let's move them back to do, and just not have it, just not have so many things going at the same time. And I'm so guilty. I'm going to do this podcast. I sell mortgages, real estate. I'm learning how to coach gymnastics because I'm trying to get Brighton.
No way.
Like not like actual coach like for the teams and stuff, but just at home. Like I'm trying to learn like what to do with her at home to get her better at it. And then like, she's doing piano lessons. I've been learning piano alongside her. So it's like there's all so many things at once all the time. It's just you just got to stop. And I've learned to take like if there's even the simplest thing on my to-do list, it's like you can break that down into like 5 tasks. It's like just pick one of them to do. Like this, like getting ready for this podcast. It's like I got to make this PowerPoint slide to have up here. I got to schedule with you. I have another guest I schedule with. I got to schedule with Nick. I got to have notes and remember to bring certain things. So it's you got to break it down into little steps and not get yourself overwhelmed. And I can see that like trying to come up with an idea in a business that can be so broad. I mean, there's like we were talking about with how many different products Erin has. It's like I don't know what 90% of them probably are. I have no idea. Like, I'm like, there's lotion. And lotion.
Something for washing.
Yeah. Although I've been struggling with cracked feet. You got any products for that?
Oh no, just facial products.
I've been struggling with cracked feet. I have I think 4 different items for that in my house. So I guess I'm getting there.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting there.
There you go.
So where do people find you?
Yeah, so a lot of people connect with me on Instagram, and then they go to my website and order.
What's your Instagram?
It's at Dallas and James Skincare Co.
And if they just search that company name on Amazon, they'll find the products?
Yes, Dallas and James Skincare. Yep, you'll find it.
What would be helpful to you, somebody listening that's maybe not necessarily going to buy skincare products or, just isn't in the market for what you do, but goes, hey, that's a cool lady. I want to help her out. What do you go anywhere? You got Instagram. What other like social media? Where can they follow you and where can they share your stuff? Like, where do you like to see reviews? Stuff like that.
Sure. Yep. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok. Is it back now or is it?
It is back.
Okay.
Yep. No, it was gone less than 24 hours.
Okay. See, this is so weird. Okay.
Nick and I went into a panic because we both use CapCut to edit video.
Okay.
And that CapCut is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance, which is the same company as TikTok. So it disappeared too.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't use it. And I figured out very quickly a VPN. I don't even know what that stands for, but it hides.
Yeah.
It makes it look like you're in another country.
Okay.
I got on a VPN and was able to get on CapCut, but TikTok still had every U.S. account banned. Like you couldn't get on TikTok no matter what if your account originated in the U.S.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was the same day it was back up, right? Like it was like it went out at midnight and then it was back up that day.
Okay.
But TikTok's hard to get traction on.
Yeah.
Like when something pops, it goes, but it's like you'll post like 10 things in a row with like 2 views and you're like, what did I do wrong? These are good. Like they'll do well on Instagram and they won't do well on TikTok.
I'm having the opposite problem.
Really?
I don't understand TikTok, so I make Instagram reels and then I'll just post the same thing.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I post the same thing on TikTok, but the TikTok gets more views.
Really?
And I don't really know how to like engage on there. I don't really understand the app very well.
So have you looked at the TikTok shop at all? Let's get real operational for people listening. But there's the TikTok shop. You can sell products directly on it. I wonder if you can get on there and because then you post your videos and there's a link right there.
Right.
And you can also a friend of mine that was in the mortgage business actually does this now. She gets like companies to send her samples of things.
Yes.
And she makes videos of them using it. And if they click her link, she gets a little bit of commission for it.
An affiliate.
She's done it. I looked at her. I was actually looking at her TikTok this morning. She got like 200 videos on there of different products of her using. I'm like, wow, how much junk is around your house now from all these products? Like, there's probably a bunch she gets that she doesn't. She's like, oh, this is terrible. I can't put that out there.
Sure.
So I wonder if that's an avenue for you. Get some of these, mini influencers. I have a friend of mine that's a social media. I don't know what his title is, but he advises people on how to use social media and speaks at like conferences and stuff. And he's a friend of mine from high school, Dave Pride, awesome guy. But he was working with companies to like hook them up with micro influencers, he called it.
Yes.
Like, people with 1,000 to 5,000, say, I don't know what the exact definition is, but followers. And he had sent me something. I did a video for it. It's like, I didn't get paid for it, but it was like, I don't know, they were called Just the Fun Part, which is like, those ice cream cones you get that are like wrapped up you get them off the ice cream truck or at the gas station. The bottom where it's just like chocolate inside the cone. It was just that part of it. I think it was
Best
called
part.
Just the Fun. Yeah, exactly. So that was their theory. It's like that's the
Okay.
best part. So they had little bags of them,
Yeah.
And I just did like a video reviewing that, and it didn't go anywhere, but
Yeah.
it was fun. I liked doing it.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
prefer micro influencers.
yeah.
I think they're much better. I've tried to like send stuff to the bigger influencers who say they want some products to try and review. And honestly, they work with so many big brands, you kind
Right.
of get like
Yeah.
missed a little bit. But the smaller influencers, they take the time, they really use the products, they really like
Yeah.
look into your company. I prefer that.
Well, it's for me. It's like if you see, you see a big brand, a big person like that. I don't know what to call them, influencer. You see a really big one, and they're hyping a product. It's like, okay, you're just doing it for the money. But if you see somebody
Yeah.
that's not doing that as their full-time job, then it's like, okay, this might actually be a real. Like I remember, and this guy's great, the roaming foodie. He had a horrible car accident. I think I just saw him start posting stuff again. He was in really rough shape. I hope he's doing well. I don't really know him personally, but yeah, he posted one day for like Papa Gino's, and like it was like, come on, like because he had such
Yeah.
good food reviews, and I'm like, Papa Gino's is okay, but
Right.
it's really like hammed up for it, and I was like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
just keep going with the local brands.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's about good. Anything else you wanna say or?
I say dream big, chase your dreams with confidence, and keep shining.
Absolutely. Yeah, so check out Dallas and James Skincare, Instagram, Amazon, TikTok. Let's see if we can get her Instagram going as good as the TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.